I'm speaking today on behalf of the environment about a vision of hope for the future of this earth, in hope that the Council's new greening strategy will listen and take on suggestions. This area has an array of beautiful natural features, which is the reason why I call the Barrington Coast home. My vision for this community revolves around the protection of our environment. Taree no longer has a large rail industry sector, as it did in the past. It does not have the agriculture, and it is depleted in its dairy that it once thrived on. It no longer has manufacturers like hot tuna. It has, however, spent many resources on rebranding as the Barrington Coast due to our natural beauty, because this is what is left in our area now, nature. Yet the environmental and regenerative practices that prevail here are subpar. So I want to speak about my vision for how the Mid-Coast Council can step up and demonstrate what they're doing to improve and protect our environment. We need to get moving on a green bin food waste scheme, like many councils like the Lake Macquarie Council and Port Macquarie Hastings Council. Grey water diversion systems installation is supported in Port Macquarie Hastings Council and would be fantastic in the Mid-Coast area. Education is vital. The students are our future and the environment is theirs. I'm a teacher and I recently tried to organise an excursion to the Wingham Sewage Treatment Plant and Boodawah Dam, and the council told me that visits are no longer available and haven't been for the last 2 years due to staff shortages. This would be great to get these reinstated. Furthermore, education on recycling in this area must be improved. People still do not know what to recycle or how to recycle. Soft plastics should be recycled as they are in other councils. Recognised council support for the school climate strike will show students that it is listening and supportive of the demands. Currently, 4 councils are supporting the school climate strike by advertising it in their calendars and on their agendas, including the City of Sydney. Non-invasive bush regeneration initiatives in the Manning Valley, Gloucestershire, including protection and regeneration of our riparian zones, is a must. And when I say regeneration, I don't mean blanket spraying of weeds. Weeds are not our problem, human deforestation is. Weeds are merely the pioneer plants that pop up on highly degraded soil. They are telling us that human destruction has occurred, and we can learn a lot from weeds. Glyphosate, Roundup, or any component of this are extremely harmful, and one day we will all be horrified that we aerial sprayed this weapon. Further support for local farmers to produce food for locals is important. Focus on protecting our waterways and ensuring for future droughts. This community is sinking, as is the natural environment. We need hope that the council values the environment as much as it valued and focused on this region's rebranding. Your focus for the rebranding was clear: tourism. However, this economic pipe dream is nothing if we do not address the 2 elephants in the room: our community, who are struggling with the context within which they live, and our environment, that is struggling in its own context, that is to cope with the tumultuous effects of climate change. With our local natural environment, as humans, we have nothing, we are nothing. David Attenborough stated we need to plant 1 trillion trees to make up for our mistakes and to capture some of the carbon that is contributing to the heating of our planet. In the Mid-Coast Council's new greening strategy, areas that have been savagely degraded, for example the hinterland of Gloucester and areas outside of Wingham, should be considered for restoration in order to remove carbon dioxide from the air and regenerate. As I passed through the hills outside of Gloucester, Cranback and Stroud over the weekend, I was shocked at what has been done to the land. The bald hills with dusty yellow tufts of grass desperately trying to survive, while equally devastated cattle roam the steep naked hills, a reminder of what humans have done to this planet and the sobering concern of desertification that is at our Barrington door. During this current drought, the areas that are green and remaining slightly resilient are the areas with trees. We know the benefits of trees. We need to be quickly doing something about protecting them, planting them and idolising them. We must be so careful when we tamper with nature, as it takes so long to see anything like an old growth tree ever again. If we look at a map of Australia on Google Earth, we see a red centre shaped by a thin green layer, and then water. We are living in that green layer. It is our responsibility to keep it that way. So I beg you, in Mid-Coast Greening Strategy, plan for and implement as much as green as you possibly can, and some, because it is our keen passion for environmental protection and trees that will save this region and our civilization. I see a vision for more trees to line the streets of our towns, providing shade, giving shape, colour and ambience, and adding to the history of the town, and for our parks to be filled with diverse vegetation. I envisage the bald hills of Gloucester being restored to stop runoff and erosion, and wildlife corridors along gullies to support biodiversity and spring-fed creeks. I envisage innovative, gentle regeneration that is chemical-free. I envisage an observation of nature from a different angle, not something that we battle and fight, but something we accept, support and grow with.